Shalom, assalamu alaikum, my friends. So let's see, there was this book, there was a prophet, his name was Prophet Daniel. And one time he had a vision, and he saw this vision of this separation and a war and a separation of something that was taking place. And God told Daniel, he said, seal up the vision and the book, for it is, days to come. But it will be opened back up, in those days. The book will be open and it will be revealed. I was like, God, I want to know the book. I want to know what Daniel's book, because I've always been a searcher of dreams. I've always had dreams in my childhood. So that is like something that when I read something, and they're talking about a dream of something that God had shown a prophet, but told him to seal it up, like don't tell nobody about this, or the interpretation of this, for it's for another time. It's like, okay, he had a glimpse of something. I want to know what it is, God. Right? So God did. He showed me something. I was kind of shocked a little bit by it, but listen to this. King of the North, King of the South. I know there's many different scholars out there, many different religious leaders out there that give you definitions of what they think, but you have to also understand that no matter what they said, if they don't repeat it in this manner that I'm repeating it, as in the manner that nobody knows, so you can't interpretate something, because you have to realize that that book was sealed. God had Daniel seal that up. You have to open that book back up. You have to unseal that book. That is where Imam Mahdi, he opens up certain things. He can reveal certain things. So in this, I was like, I want to know what that book was. And God, he's like, okay, I'll tell you. And I'm like, I'm going to, at first I was afraid. I did not want to share it with anybody because it's a sealed book. But there's something that is like making me like, oh, hey, go ahead, tell them. You can tell them now. So let's go with the King of the North, King of the South type thing. The King of the East, King of the West. You have all these different sections. And you have also have to understand there's the Middle East, which also has that kings, 12 princes within there. So let's go in with the King of the North and King of the South. Russia, Ukraine. Oh, but wait, Russia, yeah, that Russia could be the King of the North, yes. Or the King of the South, yes. King of the North, yes. Ukraine, though, right by the border. But I was like, wait. God said, who's funding them? Who's backing them? Them as a nation are not anything. But who is backing that war machine for them to have this war between the King of the North and King of the South? I was like, oh, I see. So that is kind of how it's hidden. Everybody else is looking for kingdoms. But there's something there, boom, and it's there. And it was hidden. God hid it. He sealed it, unsealed it now. Who's backing them? I see the European nations and half of America. I was like, okay, God, tell me more. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to dive deep into this. I want to tie in the Antichrist and the Dajjal and all of them together. He's like, okay. You know Hadiths. You know prophecies. You've read all the different kinds of books and all the people's religions and the words that I have given them. I said, yeah, yes, I do. But I want to understand it. Not just know, I want to understand it too. It's like, okay, I'll let you understand. So if you are a Muslim, then you will understand what I am going to say. And in a way, if you are a Christian, you will also understand what I am going to say. And all other, what we call, now this is not a bad word, it's just something that God calls you, heathens. So heathen would be religious branches that are branched off from the main storyline from Adam and Eve and Hawa and so on and so forth. You get into Hinduism and Buddhism and all these different kinds of gods and all this other stuff, right? You understand? So God calls these type of things heathens. Later on in it, you hear a word known as Gentiles. So, but all in all, we have this understanding, right? So I was like, okay, I have all this understanding. I want to know something. And he's like, okay, realize this, that if a civil war or if a division happens in America itself, sides will be taken. Now, you see, the king of the north and king of the south fighting will no longer be able to fight because the funding would stop. If there was a division amongst the people, the funding to that war would completely stop. And there would be a different kind of media news that everybody would be feeding into, would be this civil war type thing happening. Then you would understand the siding of the foul group coming. If you're an American, you understand the California, Florida. If that got split in the middle, let's say the nation got split in the middle from that side, that view, you understand that there's a side that is taking forth technology, AI, homosexuality, all the abominations of God. Then there's another side that is saying, no, we don't want this, we don't want that, trying to put a stop to it. That creates the division. And then the unification as well from watching what takes place. There's going to be a unification from watching a certain individual there in the midst of the civil war that will bring forth something that people will see. And it's a unification of worlds religious-wise for the things that this guy says and does and so on and so forth. It'll be clearly known. People will clearly understand this. And the book sealing of the prophecies, all right? So then that separation takes place. So you'll have the kind of the European nation, France, so on, all these people that are doing these foul things that you're noticing on your media and the news and the backings of their leaders, of what their leaders are forcing their poor people, the working class, the slave class into doing. Meanwhile, they pretend to argue on the media in front of you and they fight back and forth, but you have to understand they're the ones that vote to go to war, and then they send the people like us to the wars. They themselves don't fight in them, but they're the ones that they declare it without like I say, if you see another video I made, without even asking the people, do you want to go to a war with that nation, and ask that nation, hey, do you guys want to go to war? Well, I'll guarantee you the majority of people are going to say no. No, motherfucker, you're going to have to figure out a different way to settle your little problem. Or rather, you're not even going to be a leader no more because of this, whatever. Because you thought that you wanted to kill someone, you shouldn't be a leader. Point blank. Where are you going to lead after that? You kill everybody dead. Who are you leading? Stupid. People are stupid in the world. That's why in this, I think there will be a calling, a unification, and a calling out to lift a sword against the evil Dajjal, a one-time battle before we turn all of our swords back into plowshares and disarm us, because we no longer, we have God now. We know the truth. Everybody, it's all rain. God's going to reign. So this division takes place, and then the separations happen, right? And then the little spats of wars, rumors of wars, all that type of stuff. Meanwhile, what it is it's all getting ready for the coming. The coming. Because in this time, as you notice, in this time, King of the North, King of the South, there will rise up, because after that takes place, you have to understand, there will rise up another from that horn, that little horn from England, America, rising up. So as you see, you'll notice something, that Imam al-Mahdi and the Dajjal are in the same place. They will like, it will be like a thing that branch out. Separation of a kafar, a mu'min. Imam al-Mahdi will take this side in the civil war, and then the Dajjal take this side and spread the foulness to the nations that accept the abominations of God. Imam al-Mahdi will reject that abomination and will bring forth the truths and the lights and all the things that were hidden be revealed. You know, in this manner, God will be with the people that are on his side, that take his side, or that with the Muslim, the bay'ah of his side, and Isa destroys the Dajjal, and then there's the rain. You know, so we're going to win. We're going to win, but this is, I believe, this is it. This is God revealed something to me in the book that was sealed, because then, like I said, from that horn, that rise, and it becomes in the foulness of it, as you notice if you read in Daniel's book, that the dream he has, that later, see, the king of the north, the king of the south will have their little spats, but then later this Antichrist, the Dajjal, will set up his tabernacle between the holy city and some other place, I forget all of it, but and the king of the north and the king of the south will both. Now you have to remember who was backing the Ukraine at that time during the King South, King North war. Ukraine's not that king; it's who was backing it. Now Mahdi's over here. Now Mahdi is going to be cited, and those that follow will be cited, and we will unite. So now the King of the North and the King of the South will unite together and go against the Antichrist and the Dajjal. In a manner, that's what's written in Daniel's dream. And God was opening and revealing this stuff to me, and I'm like, wow, man, like we are here in it. We're here in it, and for some reason I have been understanding more about this character of Mahdi in the manner like. But I don't know, like I say, we will see. It seems truthful and right, because if you look at it, of what I'm saying, and then you look at the world that we live in right now, it matches. That what I'm speaking is matching up. And the only thing that they had not understood was that other king wasn't really the one. There was a kingdom that had set up that king and were giving them weapons and so on and so forth. And if you understand why they're doing it, is like I had said, the Taiwan, the computer chips for their AI robot. You know, when America splits, this Dajjal Antichrist side will move over into with the European, the king, you know, the King of England, Joe Biden. They're all family members. You got Gavin Newsom related to Pelosi. This is all like weird shit that they're all into. I'm telling everybody, they're like. You have to understand, though, from the beginning of America's foundation, it was founded by the Pilgrims. The colonialists are the ones who founded the 13 colonies. People better understand that. The 13 colonies were not founded by the righteous people of God. They were founded by what was known at the time of England, the colonization of it by England. Therefore, when you get into the government systems with Thomas Jefferson and all these other guys, you have to have this understanding of later on throughout the history of us, why a Democrat and a Republican, why was there that division all of a sudden pop up? It is stated in before, we are one republic under God. All of a sudden, they came, and now it's a two-party thing. And as you look, it's this very party thing. Instead of doing what the Pledge of Allegiance is and uniting under one spirit, not under flesh and all this other nonsense and religions and stuff. No, uniting under flesh and God, under God. They create that division by creating these parties. So that way, you look now, look what the parties are, they're dividing. And they're making the people divide. And they're causing all of it. As if this is, I think it's a spirit that's moving right now through something, doing something. And I don't know. I don't want it. Like I say, it is it's bad news. It's bad news, but good news in the end to those who can last the 1,300 and. What did he say, to the 34 days? Something like that. Blessed is he. Because the Dajjal Antichrist force type weird shit that they're going to be doing, that we're going to have to battle for 7 years. Now you'll think 3.5 it'll be good, like they said, because I think there's something that will take place within this time period, because you have to get this unification going. You know, it's going to be a while before people even notice the videos I make and sermons and khutbahs and all these other things, and try the things that I teach people before it becomes like a big globally dominant, like people know, like, oh, have you seen that guy's video? Oh, this, and they start understanding more of the truth of what their religion is talking about for them, and you know, veils are lifted for them, and all of a sudden their eyes are freaking open, and they understand what's going on. But within, I think, for 3.5 years, like it says, something will happen with the China to where this computer chip type thing will be ran smooth through that seaport with Ukraine into the European nations, easier access, so on and so forth. But then it turns, like I say, if you see, after 3.5 years, even in the book, it says the Antichrist turns on the people. So I think this is where it gets very foul. And then that's when I think that the Mahdi will give that declaration to lift up sword. The people have had enough of this evil. And we have to get back to God and righteousness. We don't need to do any of this. And a one-time thing, one time, even Isa joins it. Jesus joins in on this battle. And it's the one time we don't need swords no more. We turn them into plowshares. Because the Most High God is ruling. He is now here ruling for 1,000 years. I think, I'm not sure what 1,000 years, it could be a day, and then that's judgment. You don't know. I mean, it says 1,000 years, but what if that 1,000 years is just, okay, we killed Antichrist Dajjal, all of a sudden, now it's judgment, the end of the world. Only one day, like, to make it 1,000, you know? But then there's eternity after that, right? So that's good. But it's just scary because you have to be, can you imagine being the person to be this person? I can. I'm glad I have God. I'm glad I have God. That's all I can say. I'm glad I have God. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum.